Howdy everybody, and welcome back to the Chip and Dale tutorial. So last time we created our final enemy, so now it is time to create our boss. Let's see, we have a room here. If you downloaded the default project, that'd be room zone 02, and it already has some tiles in it. It's basically just the floor and a black background. So let's get cracking. If we come back to our workspace, we need to create a new enemy, actually, and create a group. We'll call this group the machine. That's the name of the boss. We're going to need two objects. Object the machine. And secondly, we are going to need a projectile. Object zap. Let's throw in some sprites here. Let's see. Enemies, boss, zap. And for you, enemies, boss, the boss, normal. We're going to need three events: create, step, and draw. This boss is actually really simple. In fact, he's even easier than the regular enemies to code, because he doesn't move. Image speed equals 0. Shoot alarm is 0. Return alarm sec times 0.25. And return iframes equals false. Iframe timer is -1. And HP underscore equals 5. Again, we're using manual timers instead of the built-in the alarm system, because we are going to be pausing this guy. Well, he is pausable, I should say. So let's start off with iframes. You can copy and paste this code directly from the player object and pretty much any other object. Well, I think only the player object does invincibility, I guess. So yeah. If the iframe timer does not equal -1, iframe timer is equal to... So if the iframe timer does not equal -1, so if we have started it, then check to see if we're at 0. If we're at 0, turn it to false. Otherwise, subtract from our timer. And secondly, let's see, we are going to want to throw in some shooting stuff. If shoot alarm is greater than sec times 2.5, I could probably just make an interval, shoot an interval variable, that's that, and that would probably be a better idea. Then image index is equal to 1. So we have this guy right here, this sprite he's using. And when image index is equal to 1, he will look like... Oops. Not characters, enemies. Boss. He'll look like this. He'll just flash white. Oh wait, no, I'm completely wrong. That's when he takes a hit. When he just has a second frame where his hands open up in the second frame. So it'll be 1, and then after the timer counts down, he'll return back to image index 0. So we set return equal to true. We create a couple of zaps. We set the shoot alarm equal to 0 and set return equal to true. So if shoot alarm is greater than sec times 2.5, then otherwise we increase. So every 2.5 seconds he will shoot, and it will count up whenever he is not shooting until the next time. We create our zaps by instance create x plus 16 plus 56. That'll be where he is in the room, where his hand is, and x plus 140 and y plus 20. Again, that's where the other hand is. On the objects layer, so right there. I should probably put it in throwables actually, but and we give it a direction. It finds a direction from its location to the closest player object. And then point direction divided by 20. Oh, wait. Then I floor it and times it by 20. That would give me a direct angle towards that player. Because the zaps, they only come at very specific angles. They don't go at any angle. They go at very specific angles that correspond to every 20 degrees. I don't know why they programmed it that way, but that was the way it was programmed. So it allows you actually, if you put your player right here, then the machine can't hit you because you're just outside of the possible shooting angles for it. So it's like that. Anyways, and speed equals 2, so they move at a speed. Alright, and if return alarm is equal to 0, then we need to return. So we else if return alarm minus, so we set return to true here, so return alarm starts counting down. That's how long it'll take before he will return from open hand back to closed hand. If return alarm is equal to 0, then he returns to normal and resets his alarm. Animation return. We'll just throw that in there and help make it easier to see. Alright, what next? Next will be if place meeting XY object ball and not iframes, then iframes is true. Iframe underscore timer underscore is equal to sec times 1.5. Audio underscore play sound is sound underscore take underscore damage, 1 false, and HP minus minus. HP is 5. And we'll create the ball object in a couple seconds here. And last but not least, if HP is less than or equal to 0, then var win is equal to create our win fanfare. Win fanfare is an object that we created a couple episodes back, and we didn't actually put anything into it yet. We will today. And this will cause the game to pause and play a win fanfare noise. Win dot target room is the RM underscore bonus, so we'll be transitioning. And we'll set our global dot cutscene variable to 0.2, so cutscene 0.2, and set our last zone clear to 0. That way, if we were to do a continue, it would know where to start us from. And, of course, destroy the enemy, because he's supposed to disappear once that actually happens. With the object zap, does it even have any code? Yes, it does. This is just the normal code. We used it in one of our enemies as well. Step event. This is just remove yourself once you go flying outside of the room code from our enemies. Come back to our win fanfare. Let me pull up in the code for it here. Again, nothing too interesting going on here. Stop all the music. Play the zone clear sound. Set transitioning equal to false and target room equal to RM title, and that would be where you go if by default, if for some reason you didn't set it up right. Then we add a step event. And here, transfer me to the bonus stage. If not audio underscore is playing and not transitioning, then do this. In fact, I don't even need to have done this in the step event. I could have just put this like as a user event and triggered that instead of bothering with the transitioning variable to prevent me from doing it multiple times in one go. But that's hindsight for you. So anyways, that'll just tell us to transition to our new room. So yeah, that should be everything. Well, almost everything. We still need to make our ball object. So come over to your groups, your object groups, and in the room objects, create object underscore ball, and we are going to throw in some code. And I think I really overcomplicated this code for this guy again, but what can you do? Give it a parent carryable, because we are going to be carrying it. And we want to override, well, not override, we want to, you want to inherit. All right. And we're going to make some motion variables for this object. Again, y and x fractions, acceleration, friction, gravity, jump speed. Yeah, I probably don't need jump speed. Max speed, fall speed, x speed, y speed, tile map. And again, no, we will need that because you can't collide with the floor. And on underscore ground. We have a couple of, these are the more specific ones here. Bounced, bouncing, and ground bounce timer. Because those are used for bouncing the ball around. Add a step event. And here's where all the magic happens. Pause. Actually, come back to our machine object. Yeah, I never did put a pause in that guy. So, throw in a pause. So, if it is being held, so if it's held by the player, held isn't there. Oh yeah, it's in part of the parent variable. X speed is equal to 0, Y speed is equal to 0, bounced is equal to false, bouncing is equal to false. So just basically reset all your variables when the player is holding you. If I have bounced and my X speed is equal to 0, then false. So the ball can be thrown and it will bounce against the first surface it hits. But when it comes to the next surface it hits, it will fall to the ground instead of bouncing. So that's what this is. If I have bounced already, so if I've bounced off one wall and now x speed equals 0 because I've just hit another wall, then apply gravity to me. Otherwise, don't apply gravity because I'm not supposed to fall until I've bounced twice. Well, I bounced once and then hit another wall. Again, speed fractions, nothing new there. Just copy paste from everything else. Movement variables, again, nothing new there. Exactly the same as all the others. We come down here to our more important section. P1, P2, checking for collisions with the tile map. More specifically, beatbox left, beatbox bottom +1, beatbox right, beatbox bottom +1. This is the ground check. If we're on ground and we have bounced, so if I've bounced off of, this is coming off of this one here, so now that we have fallen onto the ground, set bouncing equal to true, y speed equals -4, and on ground is equal to false, bounced underscore is equal to false. So when it falls and hits the ground, it bounces up by 4 pixels and then falls back down again. And if on, and it resets its bounce to false. That way, if on ground, you just set bounce equal to false. That way it'll be able to throw again. It'll throw again. If bouncing y speed equals fall, that gives y speed, and if on ground, bouncing is equal to false. Again, that's stuff for making the bouncing happen. More importantly, we need to bounds check, because we can throw it against the left or the right wall, but there isn't really anything there. So we want to actually check to see if we have reached the edge of our view, and if our bounding box left has reached the edge of the view and we haven't bounced yet, then turn me around and set me to bounced. Otherwise, just set my x speed equal to 0. And same thing with the right. If we have reached the right of the room, then set my x speed equal to -1 and bounce to true. Or set my x speed equal to 0. And if bbox underscore top is less than 0, so if we've thrown straight up and not bounced, y speed times equal -1. So turn us around when we have been thrown towards the ceiling so that we come back down. And again, set bounce equal to true. Can't bounce off the floor, so no need for a bounce out check from there. And last but not least, clamp us to the room, so we can't actually move outside of the room. And this is more for visual effect, so we don't end up looking like we've gone outside of the room ever. And you do this after having checked to see if we've moved to the left or the right outside of the room. That way you can actually check to see if we've moved left or right outside of the room. You could do this beforehand and then just check instead of less than. You could just check equal to, but just tomato at that point. All right, I think that's. Oh wait, I need to give it a sprite. There we go, sprite ball. Okay, I think that's everything now. So let's go back to our zone here, and let's actually put in our machine. And for zone 2 here, I need to grab the room. Let's see. Instances should have a grid size of 4x4. And you're on throwables, aren't you? That'd be the problem. There we go. He should be at position 48. No, not right. He should be at 48. All right, and last but not least, yes, we do have a bonus room to go to. Let's see, how long is our episode so far? We're at 19 minutes. You think we have time to throw in the bonus room as well? Maybe. Let's try. Come back over to here. Bonus room. For the bonus room, we just place in on pickups. We're going to throw in a... Ooh, Did I ever remember to actually make pickups for you? I don't know if I did. Did I? Yes, I did. So now we got this. I don't know if we ever actually made the star pickup, but it's exactly the same. You just change what thing it picks up. Throwables. Put a box on top of the pickups. That way you hide what's there. And to instances, you add a player. And put him right there. And we need a bonus timer object. Bonus underscore timer. Throw that in right there. Is that right? It should be 112.88. 112.88. Good. And got the box objects. It's pick-upables. Good. That's everything in this room then. We'll have to create the bonus timer object here. Let's see if I can pull up the code for that. Okay. Create event. Stop all the sound. Set transition to equal false. Target room is cutscenes. Bonus room always goes to cutscenes. Text underscore is equal to 0, nothing. Timer underscore is equal to second times 9. That means you get 9 seconds for the bonus round. Step event or draw event. Ooh, that reminds me actually. Over with the machine, I forgot. We have a draw event and we need to actually put some stuff into there real quick. Just draw the draw yourself as white when you've been hit, and then set yourself back to normal. It draws yourself flashing. Otherwise, just draw yourself as normal. This is the code from the player object, the exact same code. So hopefully you won't have any trouble with that. Back to the bonus timer again. So we're going to need a step event and a draw event. For the draw event, if the timer is less than 8 seconds, draw text. So just set the timer equal to the color white, H align, center, V align, centered, and draw at 120.82, 120.90, 120.106, zone clear, zone zone clear. So that'll be so it'll end up being zone 0. And then draw text would be text underscore. Text is currently blank, but in the step event, as we step through the seconds, we will change the text that is supposed to show. So if timer is less than or equal to 0 and not transition, again, transition to our cutscene room. If timer is greater than sec times 7, then object underscore input dot state underscore is equal to none. So while we are above 7 seconds, the player can't put any input in, and they're not visible. And I didn't put player 2 in there, so we won't bother putting the code for player 2. If timer underscore is equal to sec times 7, then sec is equal to get ready. And I could probably put this better if I put less than 7 and greater than 6. Probably be better off for there. And this would just be less than 6 at that point or something. Anyway, change the text to get ready. Input states is still none. Make my player visible though. And if we are in multiplayer mode, make the object player 2 visible. And again, we're not a multiplayer. We're not adding multiplayer right now. Else if timer underscore is equal to sec times 6, audio underscore play sound, bonus round sound, change the text to go, and turn my input back to normal. All right, let's give this all a try here and try to keep us under 30 minutes. Waiting for the game to compose. Oops, that's Steam. I'm trying to check and make sure you can actually see the entire screen. Okay. Oh, I forgot to put the player in the boss room. Come back to instances, put the player object in here. There we go. Oh. And I forgot to put the ball into the room. There we go. Sheesh. Am I forgetting any other objects? Alright. Good. You can see he's doing that. Throwing the ball. Bounce. Bam. Oh. You know what? I completely forgot to add in the player's hit state. So if he gets hit by the ball, he gets knocked out for a few seconds. Object player. Let me see this. Object player over on my side. Hurt, hiding, stunned state. Yeah, I never even put the stunned state in. Number 7. Oops. Other user event 7. Stunned state. This is very quick, so it's just an animation timer. If the animation timer is greater than second times 1.25, then return me back to the move state. Then we just have the movement code. That way the player will fall towards the ground if he's been stunned. And just animation timer plus plus. But when can you go into the move state? Into the stunned state? That's a good question. So when we're in the move state, and here we go. It'd be in the step event. Right after checking to see if the player has died. Yeah. var underscore instance equals instance plays parent solid. So if you have gotten inside of an object somehow, and typically this happens when you get hit by something that stuns you, like a steel crate or the ball, you'll be inside the object, so this just moves you up out of the object. So instance place, parent solid. If there's something there and it's been used and hit me and I'm not dead or ballooning around, then y minus minus player states dot stunned iframes is equal to true, and image underscore speed is equal to 0.5 and image index is equal to 0. Stunned state again. Animation timer. Did I set my animation timer back here? Oh wait, just animation timer plus plus. That's right. So yeah, now the player should be able to be stunned. Hopefully. We'll see. Alright, grab the ball, throw it, pow, you get hit. Yeah, good. That's exactly what we're looking for. Alright, and I can't take damage from the zaps because I didn't add the zaps to the player's damage setup. That. You can see the ball bounces when it hits the ground. And there we go. We got a win fanfare. Zone 0 equals clear. Ready? Go. And put the pickups in, but I haven't programmed them yet. And we got our final cutscene, which cuts back to the main title. So there's a couple other things that I haven't done that need to be done too, like when the player is stunned, he's supposed to have a bit of an animation going on and other things, but I have the object flower in there, but did I actually put it into the player object to be picked up? Death, check for pickups. Pickup is equal. Parent pickup. Did I set your parent equal to pickup? No, I didn't. Parent pickup. There we go. That's why you didn't get picked up. Object player 1. And there's, again, like I said, there's supposed to be a little animation that is played above the player's head when he is stunned, but well, I think we're about out of time here, and this is the last episode, so everything should be in here for the most part. If you want more, you'll have to bug me for the actual project file. There's not really too much more left, just a bunch of little detail type things lying around. Anyways, so that's great. Looks like we are finally done with the Chip and Dale tutorial. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. I will have one last epilogue episode to come after this, and that will just give information and tell you guys what to expect next. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. Remember, if you have questions or comments, leave them in the comments, and I'll try to help you out as best as I can. And good luck with your programming.